During the first presidential debate, Donald Trump was asked if he would accept the results of the election. And he said that he would only accept the results if it was a free and fair election.
The question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week.
Now, this is his way of saying that he will only accept the results if he wins the election, just like what happened in 2020. For me personally, it's really hard to see politicians look at this tyrannical behavior and say, yeah, this is okay, this is what a president should be like. And honestly, anyone with a brain would say that is not okay, which is why Bill Maher confronted Tulsi Gabbard last night on her support for Donald Trump. But before I show that clip, during the same show, Tulsi Gabbard also accused Biden of going after his political opponents and being not safe for democracy, which is just completely untrue and is honestly just projection from her own party. Take a look.
I think it's important to look at what's actually happening. That this isn't my opinion versus your opinion and everyone else's opinion or some theory about what may possibly happen. When you look at the weaponization of the Department of Justice, you talk about all the different cases that Trump is facing, but then you can also look at how political opposition and others who disagree with this administration are also being targeted. You look at how we're facing more censorship of free speech now than ever before in my lifetime, whether it's directly or indirectly from this administration. Obviously, COVID was a huge example of this. There are many others that have come forward.
Yeah, there is a lot of that.
And you look at how they tried to remove Trump from over 32 ballots in different states. These are things that should not and cannot be happening in a true democracy, in a democratic republic, and things that we should take note of as the direction that we are headed in and this threat that we face.
Trump has said, I'm going to make sure I get even with half this country that's probably going to vote against me. He's going to go after public officials. He's going after commentators. He's going after editorial writers. He's going to go after everybody. And they're basically at stake right now. So it's not going to be a free country. He is out there to remove people's rights. That's the real danger. And we don't know where it's going to end. We do not know. Nobody can sit here tonight or this November and say they know where Trump's going to stop.
Or whatever he's going to do, because he's crazy.
Now, I find it kind of ironic that she's worried about democracy while she's there supporting Donald Trump, who literally has said that he won't support the democracy that we're in if he doesn't deem it fair and free. And as we saw in that clip, Chris Matthews called her out, saying it's not Biden who's a threat to democracy, it's Trump who is. And he went into great detail explaining how it was Trump who said he'd go after his political opponents, not Biden. So this whole interaction should already go to show you that Tulsi Gabbard isn't going to engage in a good faith argument. She's just a Trumper through and through. But let's go ahead and take a look at this outrageous clip of her defending Donald Trump when she's supposedly worried about democracy.
I think what you've heard from Trump is the same thing you've heard from Hillary Clinton, the same thing you've heard from a lot of other people who have called him an illegitimate president.
That's not.
She never, she did not.
No, that's over there. We're talking about he has not conceded the last election.
When you look at his statements, and again, I don't have all of the quotes, but I've seen and heard them many times.
We don't need quotes.
There's no distinction or difference between what he and Hillary Clinton essentially
has said. That's ridiculous.
And he was asked last night.
That's a preposterous statement. And
he was asked last night in the debate, would you accept the results of the election?
Yes, if it's free and fair, which is a way of saying if we win, I accept.
We all want free and fair elections?
This was a free and fair one. So he obviously does not admit when he loses a free and fair election. So why would we think he's going to do it this time?
Now, this whole interaction was just absolutely ridiculous because she even tried to use Trump saying that he wouldn't accept the results of the election unless if it was fair and free, which we all know if he loses, it's not going to be fair and free. But she was trying to use that as evidence to say that Trump, is really this great guy who just wants good, fair, and free elections. And, he actually wants to accept the results of the election. election. But her talking points were completely shut down by Bill Maher, who pointed out that this is the exact opposite response that you would want to hear from someone who was actually truly supporting a democracy. And it's just crazy to me that we have, people out there who are like, yeah, we really need to make sure that the elections are fair and free. And then when we have, investigations and reports into the elections and determine they're fair and free, they're like, no, it still wasn't fair and free because my guy didn't win. These are just people that you cannot have a good faith argument with. And I think this just goes to show you that Trump and democracy just do not align at all. If you support Trump, you do not support a democracy, you support a dictator.